Welcome to Adventure, the show with guests who truly push their lives to the limits. No talking heads here, just the real deals. I'm Jim Clash. Carl Edwards gave Jimmy Johnson a real run for the money this year for the coveted NASCAR Sprint Cup title. But Edwards doesn't always finish second. He has over 30 combined wins in Sprint Cup and Nationwide. Welcome, Carl.
Nice to be here, Jim.
It's great. You know, you're the first NASCAR guy I've had on. I've had a lot of the IRL guys on. You finished second this year in the points championship, the Sprint Cup, second in the Nationwide. I know you can win races. You've won more than 30. But tell me a little bit about the point system. You kept it interesting up to the end with Jimmy Johnson. You won the race at Homestead, yet you still didn't win the series.
Yeah, we went out and raced as well as we could. Tried to win all the races we could. Jimmy was just more consistent. He won the championship. And I mean, that last race, it came down to, we had to lead the most laps, and we did it. Our team, won the race, led the most laps, and we just needed Jimmy to have some bad luck, and he didn't.
Should there be any changes to the way this is done? Because you scored more points for the season.
I think the chase is exciting. I think that just having the last 10 races really define the champion. It throws a bigger group of guys in there. And finishing second, it'd be really easy for me to say, hey, let's change this thing, but, next year I could win it the same way.
What's more important to you, winning the Daytona 500, which you still have to do, or winning the sprint car title?
Which I still have to do.
Right.
I'd say that winning the title would be the number one thing.
So you must have been really, on edge before this final race at Homestead.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've never been so amped up for a race. You know how it is. Which, by the way, I did not expect to see. I didn't know you were a race car driver. I didn't expect
an amateur driver.
Well, I come to Forbes.com and I walk in. There's a Harley Davidson sitting out there in the lobby. There's a picture of you with a race car on the wall. I thought, man, this is cool. So it's good to be on. And but the point is, how it is. Before you get in a race car, you get so much energy built up. You're nervous about so many things, but then when you add to that the potential to win the most competitive title in the world, that was a fun race in Homestead.
Why is NASCAR so popular in the United States versus, say, F1 or even IndyCar?
I don't know. I've never driven an open wheel car. You'd know more about it than I would.
I don't think so.
But to me, what NASCAR has that other series in the world do not have is this rule book that constricts things. We're racing 1950s technology, and everyone can build a car, and it just comes down to the crew, the driver, and the engineer, and the crew chief really making calls on race day. So you have this competitive field. I think that's what the fans like to see.
It's interesting. Some of the open wheel guys have come over, and they were, the snobbish open wheel guys are like, oh, these guys are going to tear up NASCAR, but they haven't. Montoya now is finally up near. Up near the front. Hornish is still in the middle, and Dario Franchitti literally had to drop out and go back to the IRL.
I think that myself included, those guys, and every driver that comes into that series, the Cup Series, probably realize, wow, this is a lot more competitive than I imagined. At the same time, guys like Hornish, Montoya, Franchitti, they're great race car drivers. It's just in this sport, it's so competitive. You don't get much time to go out there and win, and that's why you see a guy like Scott Speed or Montoya that right off the bat is having some good luck, and I think those guys are going to do very well. But it's just like going and trying anything new. It's difficult.
Your signature backflip at the end of a race that you won. Tell us how that came about.
Just when I was a kid, we used to goof around, and I could do a backflip. And I didn't ever think of that being a part of racing. But I saw Tyler Walker, another driver, do a backflip after he won a race on TV. And I thought, man, I can do that. So started doing it at my local dirt track. And I won my first big NASCAR race at Kentucky Speedway in the Craftsman Truck Series. And I was standing out there on the truck, doing I won the race. And I thought, I'll just do a backflip. And I did it. And the next day when I woke up, it was playing on Sports Center. And the fans really loved it. So, as long as they enjoy it, I'll keep doing it.
Well, listen, thanks for coming in today. We hope to see you doing a lot of backflips next year. And especially at the Daytona 500.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Thanks, Carl.
We're going to get you out there in one of those stock cars someday.
Well, I'll take you up on that.
All right.
Okay. For more iconoclasts and adventures, see Forbes.com/ToTheLimits or pick up a copy of my book, To the Limits. And thanks for watching the Forbes.com Video Network. Clash, James Clash.